Some friendships start with coffee shops, college classes, but ours started in a much more chaotic setting. We're talking about that one school that made us friends and nearly destroyed us at the same time. I'm your host, Courtney, and I am here with my co-host, Erin.
Hi.
And today we are talking about that place that we have referenced in previous podcasts as that place that shall not be named. Yes, there's had a few names, but we are finally going to dive into it. This is going to be quite the episode. We'll have a lot to say.
Yes.
So, as you know, from if you listen to our first podcast, that is, Erin and I met on this little app called Indeed.
Yes, I did work there before I hired Courtney, and it was definitely, I will say I was trying to make it a better place when I was there. I was in charge of all the hiring and stuff, but there was definitely moments where I did not agree with at all.
That's putting it nicely, I think.
But that's putting it very, very nicely. Now, before I hired Courtney, there was a lot of incidences like, in the previous podcast I talked about, what happened like with my son being slammed down and, they were going to brush it under the table, but then they fired her once they figured out that it was my child. And there's lots of instances that happen in that school, that those schools, plural. I don't know if we've ever specified that. There's plural. There's multiple of them.
It's a wannabe franchise.
It's a wannabe franchise. It actually made it all the way out of state. There was a fourth school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was actually a fourth one because after I pulled my son out of said name place and I found this other in-home daycare, she actually used to work with said owner.
Oh yeah, you did tell me.
Years ago. She eventually quit and started her own home daycare, and I love her. B still sees her every now and then. But yes, there was a fourth place that got sold by the other owner. Because originally it wasn't just the one. There was the best friend too. And there was always stories. Nobody really knows what happened.
That's how it goes for a lot of things there. Nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows, especially in locked offices, apparently, that I was in. But I was objected to. There was, in a sense, I can tier them off. You have school A, school B, and school C. While school A was the smallest, that one was rough. That one needed a lot of not just physical updates, but also just morale.
Yeah, I worked at school A.
Yes, and knowledge. It needed that. So I was scrolling Indeed one day, because that's what I did a lot, trying to hire people all day, all the interviews. I've been ghosted. I don't know if I've been ghosted more times in dating or on with interviews. I don't know. But I did bug Courtney quite a bit.
I was on vacation.
I know.
Not in the state at all.
No, you weren't. But yet I bugged you quite a bit to get an interview with you. Instantly, I loved you. I know that owner B was hesitant because you were out of state. Actually, both of them were. And I vouched. I fought that battle. And I'm very happy I fought that battle.
I am too.
It's, at one point, owner A told me that they didn't care if they had experience with kids or didn't even know what a kid was, just hire them. That did not set well with me because our job is to take care of miniature humans. You have to have some knowledge of a miniature human. Like, if you're not comfortable doing diaper changes, I can help you. Like, all these little things. But it was very much, they just cared about the money.
Yes.
Hiring for cheap, overworking, which instilled a lot of drama. I don't think the drama was as bad when you got there. I think we got it a little bit under control.
I started right as drama was headed out the door. There was one girl that worked there that got moved to either school B or C. I don't remember.
Okay.
But she would come back to school A every so often. And every time
was that Chipotle girl?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Every time she came, everybody warned me They were like, this girl, don't say anything around her that you don't want repeated because she will tell everybody. And then, so she was in and out, and then she eventually got fired. And then there was the teacher. She and her counterpart, I will call her because I don't want to specify their relationship too much. Her counterpart and her were drama of themselves. They both worked on each side of the school, and so they were running back and forth to tell each other everything. This is a 4-classroom school. It would have gotten around eventually.
Oh my gosh, but not gonna lie, the rumors, when I heard that I was canoodling with one of the owners in the office and the director was standing outside of it, like, yes, that is true. That did, like, the rumors of that happening, not that it was true that it actually happened. Hell no. Right. Fuck no, I never did that. The rumors of it, oh my gosh, was that funny. You know, that became a running joke between me and the director. Like,
yeah. There were a lot of closed door meetings, mostly about the teacher.
Yes,
I feel like
there was. It was also closed door meetings because, not gonna lie, when the drama got too bad, nobody wanted to hear it, so we would just close the door. Because it got to a point where, you know, the 2 teachers you were talking about, it was like non-stop complaining after complaining. That's why just lock the door.
Yeah, all of a sudden. Right. Well, that's because the teacher did not care about ratio, did not care about no rules, and would just leave the classroom to go and bug you guys over anything and everything.
She also segregated her kids at the lunch table.
Yes, that is true.
I remember the director called me down the hall. She said, come here. She goes, I need you to walk by. See if you notice something about the kids sitting at the table. And I walked by and I looked and I was like, you're shitting me. Are these kids like segregated by race?
Yes.
Yes, they were.
So I hadn't noticed at first because I'm coming in. I didn't realize that they actually had assigned seating because of how young they were. So I was like, there's no way they have assigned seating. This just happens to be a coincidence. The kids did it unknowingly. No. And then that's what she had told me at first. I was like, okay, I don't really know. But then one day, one child that did not belong at a certain table who sat down, this woman lost her damn mind, picked up everything, put the girl back in her seat. But then once she picked up that you guys picked up that she had segregated the children, she took one child from each table and switched them, but that was it.
And, you know, it's so funny. Like, it's not funny because we did have a very diverse group of kids in there. Like, yeah, it was very diverse, which is amazing. But to go in and segregate the kids, like, what are we teaching these kids now? Like, yeah.
And then at one point, it became her favorite kids at one table and her least favorite kids at another. But then she realized she had too many that were not her favorites. So that didn't last very long.
Yeah.
She had a problem with just about every child. Like, and I'm not talking about like, oh, you know, this one can have its moments. Like an actual serious, I don't like this child about every single one of them.
Mm-hmm. I remember she got pissed when she caught wind that I did not want my son in her class.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear the end of it. I did not hear the end of it
because I knew better.
And then, I mean, she had made excuses because, you know, your son was later to walking. He did things on his own terms.
Still does.
Yes. And so I think she thought, because the kids in her class were supposed to be walking by that point and off a pacifier and all this stuff. So she had made up all these excuses like, oh, he's still on a pacifier. That's why she doesn't want him in my class. Oh, he's not walking yet. That's why she doesn't want him in my class. And I'm like, okay, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Sure. Why not?
But then there was the time that there was a kid in her class that could not walk. And you would have thought that we set her classroom on fire and walked away.
Teacher.
And he had very valid reasons for not being able to walk. I will say that. I'm not going to say
was that the one who got, I'm using air quotes because people can't see, that got stung in the hand by the bee?
Yes. I won't say why he had valid reasons, but he had valid reasons.
He did. He had very valid reasons. Like I said, it was a very, very diverse place because that was when I left.
Yeah.
And there was still all that. I was just a parent.
At that point, yeah.
I was a parent at that point.
The teacher found out that
director?
you... Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But the other teacher found out that you and I were still friends after you left. And so she tattled on us to a director that wasn't even at our school. The director was at school C, but the teacher felt the need to tattle on us for talking. And they were like, what's the problem?
For talking.
Like they... Oh boy. Can you imagine if she found this podcast?
Oh
she probably wouldn't even realize we were talking about her.
No. Like, so since I, one thing I noticed since I floated from schools A, B, and C, primarily I worked at school A. That was
Yes.
where I was. That's where one of the owners wanted me and spent most of his time. But what I noticed at school B and C was that the drama wasn't as prominent. Because I think it was just, there was no strong head with school A because the director kept getting changed and the consistency, everything, and the turnover rate that, there wasn't stable enough ground to get traction from everything. And we were all headed in that right direction about getting traction. And then, I got a better job offer and I left.
There were tears.
Oh no, there were definite tears. I still stuck around. My son was there, but even the drama that I got as a parent.
Yeah.
One of them was when they moved the one director and demoted her, which was bullshit, by the way.
Yeah.
They demoted her.
They wanted her to quit. They didn't want to fire her.
Exactly, because they don't want to pay unemployment. They wanted to do whatever they could to keep their little bank accounts happy. And whatever ideas that the one owner had to build some business in friggin' Asia somewhere.
Yeah, that one. I don't know what was. They just wanted a reason to go to Asia all the time.
They did go to Asia a lot. Like, cool. I'm glad you, it's cool. But what kind of business are we building over there? Like,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. For legal purposes, I don't want to know.
No, but for nosy bitch purposes, I want to know. I want to know. Because I'm just nosy like that. But even I remember, so there's some medical things with my son. And I remember, one of his big things is hydration. And I remember it was you or your sister said that the one co-teacher was refusing.
Yeah, my sister.
My son water.
Yeah, my sister. Yeah, so the kids were technically only, quote unquote, supposed to have water at snack and lunch. But obviously, if a child is thirsty, we were permitted to give them water. If there is a medical need, we are permitted to give them water. And I think that qualifies as a medical need.
I had a note.
But he could give himself the water, once it was in the cup and everything. He didn't need to be held. He didn't need to be fed. He literally just had to sit with his water. It was nothing hard. And my sister was not having that co-teacher, not having it.
Oh yeah, no.
Was mad.
I wasn't having it because that one co-teacher was so damn fake. Talking shit to my son and then turning around when I enter and being all happy with me. Fuck no. Ain't gonna happen.
When you caught her doing that she should have been let go.
Yep. But no. And then when it was after that moment where drama really happened on my end, when I sent that email to the one owner explaining why I was pulling my child. And it was, oh my gosh, let's see. I got emails and emails back.
Oh yeah.
From it. After everything I did for you, this is how you treat me? Sir, you were my boss. We weren't dating here. Why are you acting like this?
Insane.
Yes. And they hid my son's stuff. They refused to give it back.
Yeah. And they wanted you to drive out there and get it. And you didn't live around the corner.
No, I didn't. No, but that was when my sister worked there. So she got it.
Yep. Me and my sister tried, but they were like, no, we don't know where it is. And my sister's like, I'm the one that gathered it all up. I turned around and it's gone.
What was the point?
To see your beautiful smiling face one last time.
Yeah, while I walk in with my middle finger up in the air, telling them all to fuck off at that point.
Let me tell you, that place
sucks the soul out of you.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And how expensive it is.
Oh yeah, I had so many parents be like, "This is not or
Now
paying."
it's what, $1,500 to start?
I wouldn't be surprised.
For the quality of it, like, but I will say I tried with my whole heart to fix that building, girl. I tried.
This school was in the news not terribly long ago. I was not surprised.
Nope.
Truthfully, it was awful, but they don't give training. I trained for maybe a day.
Yep.
And then they were like, "Well, we need you in a classroom.
Yep.
Go do."
But no, I tried to make a training program. They didn't want to hear it.
I know people that worked there that got zero training. And like the high school kids that were like coming in.
No, the one, and when we got the redheaded lady, do you remember the older lady, the redhead?
Yes.
I loved her.
Yes, I remember her.
I loved her. But she left because there was a hot mess there.
Yeah, a huge mess there. And that's what's sad, because when I ended up having to lead a classroom. And when I got in there, I had parents tell me like, "Hey, we appreciate this. We like you, all this stuff, but the teachers have a high turnover rate." They're like, "Are you going to last?" And that was my goal. My goal was to last. And then we got new management and just did not see eye to eye with management. And I had to bow out. And I felt bad, but I did write all the kids like goodbye cards, and more towards the parents, obviously. But and I got a text message my last day after I gave everybody those cards, freaking out. They're like, "What did you put in the cards? I need to know what it said." But like the new director was like freaking out. I was like, "I didn't say anything that was going to get me into legal trouble. I'm not stupid." I said goodbye. I said one good memory. Like, I gave everybody a good memory that I had with their kid, and that I wish them well.
Yeah.
But like, it's bad when the director's freaking out because they didn't know you were sending cards and they didn't approve them beforehand. It's like, what do you need to approve? I'm saying goodbye. That's it. That's how you know it's bad.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I got, they would say that there was an incident with my son, but I wouldn't get an incident note. And I'd go in there because like you knew more of like the situation that was happening outside of that. So like those incident reports were like important.
Yeah.
And then now you're refusing to give me it. Like,
well, that's the thing. They knew too. The school knew everything and why you needed every single incident report, even if it was a freaking paper cut. It was important. And at one point they told my sister to stop writing incident reports because it was making them look bad.
I needed them.
Like, they didn't want them writing reports for anybody. And there were a few times that she had written one out and they would take it and just throw it away.
Like, I remember when state was coming in, that was like a hot mess. I don't know how long it took me to organize all of those files because they weren't touched.
State was there a long time.
Yep.
Long time.
I should have held up a help sign.
Blink twice. I am blinking.
Yes. Like, that place sucked your soul.
So besides obviously getting a better job and everything, was there a point that you reached where like, I need to take this better job? I can't do this anymore?
It was everything that was happening outside in my personal life that was really like hounding me. Like, that was rough. It was hard to be present for kids and teachers, let alone try and be present for myself and my son with everything, with all that drama.
Yeah.
Because that was not easy by any means.
Mm-mm.
And then it was when I got that opportunity, and what next week we're gonna possibly talk about that.
Yeah.
It was, because that's a really cool story. But when I got that job opportunity, there was just something inside of me that said, you know what, just take it, because I can't manage my personal life and then all the drama that's instilling in here. Like, no. So, I mean, we all have our breaking moment with that. You touched on it a little bit on your breaking moment.
So I didn't love how they demoted the previous director. And then the new director came in and I was like, I'm going to give them a shot. Something tells me we're not going to vibe. But I was like, I was open to it. And then on top of that, I found out people, like just about everybody but me, got a raise. And I was like, okay, things are just building and building, and I'm just not getting along with this director. And very micromanagey, but also doesn't want to actually do things. Give me ideas that I'm going to throw away, I guess. So I had just reached the point where I was like, I can't stay at this place anymore. It's a hot mess. I'm leading a classroom. I've never been a lead before. I barely have training to work there, let alone be a lead. It all felt like just so much piled on top of me all at once. And I think honestly the breaking point was the raise, because this man, the owner, looked me in the face and told me, we had a whole meeting about how amazing I was doing, how I was exceeding expectations, all this BS, for only a couple days later for my friend to be like, oh, how much was your raise? And I said, what raise? And she said, and the boss said, you aren't supposed to talk about that. I said, actually, North Carolina law states that we can talk about it. Tell me more about your raise. And and I asked almost everybody, and they were like, yeah, we got, and like, it wasn't a measly like couple, 5-6 cent raise. It was like people were getting 50-cent raises.
Yeah.
50 to $1, and I got diddly squat.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I know that because I think we talked about it, especially when I was there and you were reaching that like snapping point, and you were like, I am not leaving if my son is still there.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, yeah, no, I will pile through this, because
I wasn't leaving him. But like once you left, it was a lot easier for me to leave.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I reached my breaking point like
a
lot faster.
Wait, so with that, what was your breaking point to take your son out? A moment or like a couple?
So everything like started to kind of build. It was the fact that when it was your sister and the one co-teacher, and I was getting texts from your sister throughout the day of what this co-teacher is telling my son. Like when he was ravenous and wanted more, and she would straight up be like, no, you don't get more food. And then denying his signed medical papers from not just his pediatrician, but his like nephrologist. She was refusing to follow that order. Then when I heard her talk to my son like that, and then she turned around, saw me, and decided to like
hopefully
talk
she didn't
shit.
hear.
Like, yeah. No, it was after that moment. Like, even in the letter, I said that the room that he was in, like, I highlighted how much like I appreciated you and your sister and the previous director on how they created this safe space. But yet with this co-teacher and this new director, it was not a safe area at all for my child. So I didn't even bother with the 30-day notice. I didn't bother, like, okay, I don't know if this is going to have to be cut, but I still had the balance of that month. I didn't pay it because I never technically signed a contract.
That part.
But it was the moments leading up to it, and rather than being met with, she knows what she's talking about, maybe we should look into this co-teacher. No, it was met with anger.
Yeah.
So no, I pulled my son like that, like no notice, because I sent the email on like a Wednesday, and then it was, we'll finish out the week, and I was like, yep, nope, not returning at all, which again, that was met with anger.
I will say, obviously my sister and I love your child. I consider him my nephew. But it had gotten to the point that if we were, my class was under ratio and theirs was over, I'd always be like, send me Erin's child. And my sister hated sending him over just because she loved him so much. It got to the point where she was like, yes, he needs to be the one to go. And that's how I knew it was really, because like my sister loves him so much. Yep. So the fact that she was willing to be like, yes, he needs to be the one to go, like I knew it was getting real bad.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not afraid to go to jail for my child.
Same. I will also go to jail for your child.
Yeah. And then everyone else that we know, like there's a line of people to go through.
Big old line.
But it's, coming at it from not only that I work there, but as a parent perspective, I do not see how that it's still open and still running. Now, do they pay people off? I cannot confirm nor deny. We can speculate.
For legal reasons, we are speculating. It is alleged.
Because again, I never directly saw a payout. And I can say that wholeheartedly. I never saw a payout. I never got paid out. I did pull, because all y'all said that the one owner, was crushing on me. So yes, I did pull the, hey, you want to buy me lunch? I did do that quite a bit. And I got free lunch quite a bit. But other than that, like, yes, it's all speculation of like the payouts. But
right.
Everything else,
I'm not speculating that it is managed poorly. It
is. And I would be weary of sending any child there. Unfortunately, legal reasons, I am not dropping the name.
One day I'll get brave enough. Let me look into, as a paralegal, an actual literal paralegal, by the way.
Yeah.
I will look into things. But I think that falls under slander.
Yeah, because I think if we don't exactly know and we don't have proof, then it could be defamation or slander.
Yeah.
So that part is speculation. Like, we can assume.
Yes, you can assume anything. I can assume tomorrow the sky will be purple. That doesn't mean it's true.
It might be. You know what? I might feed into that for you. You're going to get a text from me tomorrow morning. And
I swear to God, if the sunrise and it's purple, I'm dead.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to send you a picture because I'm awake before the sun even rises now. So
crazy.
I'm going to make sure that if it's purple, you will see it.
That's why we have a whole nother podcast. Plug in our podcast. But yeah, so other than monetary reasons, obviously, because we live in corporate America, everything is monetary. Honestly, my friendships there is what kept me going. Like you, Jay, I'm trying not to throw people under the bus.
The first director.
Yes, Big D.
Big D, we love Big D. Oh, wait, no, I can't make that joke on this joke.
I just realized. Anyway, rewind that back.
We're going to pause that joke for...
Tune into our new podcast to hear the full joke. Honestly, we're a mess.
October 18th. Ha, no, we're not Tay-Tay. Airs September 18th.
I was going to say, if we did October, nobody would listen.
No, we got to get in before Tay-Tay.
Yeah. To have any hope. But, yeah, I will say, I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I was friends with there. I think that's the one thing... Well, you got me.
Yes, I got you.
That's the one thing I will say. The only good thing that came out of there is my friendships and relationships. But I think that's called trauma bonding.
It probably is.
If I'm correct. I think it's called trauma bonding.
We love trauma bonding.
So that was the place that brought us together and almost broke us. I'm sure there will be more episodes on this topic. We're definitely not done talking about it, even if it doesn't get its own full episode. There are so many dirty skeletons in those closets.
Dirty skeletons. No, wrong joke, wrong podcast. No, I will agree. Like, I think with that time and place that I was in my life, like, I had to be the bad guy a lot. And I think that's why it was a little bit hard to form those friendships.
Yeah.
But I am so grateful to still have you in my life. And, we're at this point now.
Same.
Yeah. So... And obviously, I have my hot mess who's supposedly sleeping, but I just heard a dinosaur roar. Welcome to Jurassic Park. But yes, no, that place definitely did. I think there were moments, bathroom crying, office crying.
Oh, yeah.
Kitchen crying.
Let a tear roll down in the classroom.
Oh, yeah, I've been
just
there.
One.
Been there. But, we're out of it. That's
we made it to the other side. Alive.
Oh my gosh, that song. My brain just sounded like a song in my head. Well, on that note, I have to go figure out what song I'm talking about. So,
and wrangle your toddler.
The dinosaur.
The dinosaur toddler. Yeah. He's still a toddler because dinosaurs and toddlers, basically the same thing in my book.
Basically the same thing, who just got back from a week in Disney. So,
oof, bless.
Oh, I need a vacation from this vacation. So,
I hear you. All right, so that was Things Teachers Really Say, the podcast. Check out our website, www.podpage.com/thingsteachersreallysay. And that's all we have for this week's episode.